You are watching a special minisode of Between the Hunt. Today Horse and Deadman discuss the upcoming Post Malone event in Hunt Showdown 1896, as well as respond in detail to some of your wonderful comments on Horse's latest controversial video. Featuring a comment from another Hunt content creator, Hazmat FTW. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Perfect. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a mini episode of Between the Hunt. Due to, I want to say an emergency recording, if anything. There's a lot going on in the Hunt community right now. I appreciate all of you folks for completely blowing up my video. I'm actually dumbfounded. I expected 10 people to watch it. I went to bed, I came back, and it's almost at 4K. Dumbfounded, 100 subscribers, it's crazy. And there's a lot of people who both agree with me and heavily disagree with me, which I completely welcome, by the way. I appreciate you all commenting and taking the time to do so. I even had some larger Hunt YouTubers reach out to me about it. It's exciting. But today I'm joined by, typically, my co-host, Deadman. Say hi.
Hello.
So we thought that. Go ahead.
No, I took a break from watching your 4-hour
Thanks.
skin video.
Okay. All right. Listen, as exhausting as it is to watch it, it was doubly exhausting to do it live.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh
I would
my!
have stopped in if I wasn't busy, but I was cracking up because I was like, just to have a little bit more levity at the beginning. Like I was watching it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is how I know me and Horse have very different criteria for skins in this game."
Red shirt and S tier, baby. Red shirt sweep.
Look, I'm not talking about the like red shirt, but it's like some stuff you would say for others wouldn't apply to other hunters, and
Yep.
you have hundreds of skins. You're going to have it like that.
Yep.
So it cracked me up, and I've mentioned it in the Discord. Like, this is why I enjoy talking with other people, because everybody's skin sensibilities are completely different, and it's hilarious. Because that is definitely a part of what this episode's going to be. Because people are mad about a white scraggly man coming to Hunt Showdown.
Yeah.
That's
For those of you who haven't been, for those of you who have been under a rock today, they announced that Post Malone's Murder Circus is coming to Hunt Showdown. Now, we've got some pretty controversial opinions on this, I'll say. A lot of people are upset about it. I love the idea. Okay, I'm all for it. We talked about this in our last full episode. Post Malone is one of the best people to be out in the public praising your game, being involved with it, and trying to get more people to play the game. It worked for Magic. He got a lot of people into Magic. He helped with the stigmas that Magic had. And now Magic the Gathering is seen in a much more better light by the general public. I think the same could happen for Hunt. I think that this is one of the most faithful collabs they could do. He looks like a Hunt character. If you look at the trailer, I'll put it on screen here. He's doing a voice. He's got the look. If he was not Post Malone, he would look like any other hunter.
He would look like a tier 3.
Incredible. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Easy.
It's so faithful to the game.
Well, and the thing was, I was chatting with somebody earlier, and we were talking about it.
Right.
And I made that joke. Oh, people are mad about a white scraggly man coming to a game full of white scraggly men. And I get it. Some people don't want to interact with those skins, but there's even base game skins I don't want to interact with. But you don't see me bitching about it. Right. I don't like the gold guns. I've never liked gold guns. The only golden gun in gaming I've liked is fucking golden gun from GoldenEye 64.
Yep.
That's it. Now, that being said, and again, during that same conversation, we were talking about it, and really at the end of the day, Hunt is a product. Is it in a kind of rougher state than it has been in years? Sure. Absolutely, because I know that was a concern between some of the comments and some of that stuff that's come out. Yes, it is not blanket. I would say Hunt is almost running better for me since the 2.0. Even at 2.0 base, it was running better. But that's not necessarily to say that it's a blanket across the board. Because at the end of the day, is some of it rough? Yeah, but they changed the whole engine. The whole engine got changed.
People, dude, oh my God. We were preaching this on day one. And bear in mind, we tried to play on day one, and we were still defending the game to an extent. People don't understand how significant an engine update is. It's basically a new version of the game. I consider this, we've been calling it Hunt 2.0 for a while. This is literally Hunt 2.0. The entirety of the game from the ground up looks better. It runs differently. It plays differently. So there's an unbelievable amount of things involved with that. There's a reason we don't have 2 of the maps yet. People saying we should have all the maps by now. You guys don't fucking get it at all. They are not only are the maps different and unique in the new engine, they're personally going through every aspect of the maps and tweaking them to make them more better for everybody, more balanced. Yeah. They've been putting out teasers for some of the changes coming up, and they look really good. Yeah,
no, and honestly, I'm one of those people. I'm like, dude, I'm tired of just 2 maps. I am 100%.
Me too.
Behind that. Get it. Like, I played Stillwater for 7 years, like, and I played Lawson for almost just about as many, because I've been in since June or July 2018, one of the two. And, like, I'm tired of Stillwater. Well, not even tired of it, but, like, the variety that we had before 2.0 is gone, and I will say that. We have 2 very different maps right now. There's no, like, in between. Because DeSalle, I would argue, had a lot of verticality, more so than the other 2, but not as much verticality as Mammon's Gulch.
No, Stillwater's just a flat plane, bro.
It is. Like, the only verticals are, what's it called? What the hell? Chapel? No, not Chapel. Church. And the one fucking tower in, Blanchett, like, that has the same level of, like, verticality. Right. And you have, like, the compounds that do, like, Reynard is a very vertical compound. Elaine is a small but vertical compound.
Right. But running around Stillwater, it feels flat and wet. And then running around Mammoth's Gulch, it is the most extremes of height imaginable. Levels of height that genuinely don't feel like they were possible in Hunt. Like, you have to look up at the skybox sometimes for how high up people are. It's actually crazy to think about. Yeah. And that's common in Mammoth's Gulch. It's everywhere. The name of the game is escalation. Mountains, mines, you're going to further depths and higher heights than we've ever seen in Hunt on Mammoth's Gulch, and then you go to Stillwater and it's flat. So
yeah, no, and I agree. Like, it's not even to say that I don't like playing on literally just had it in my head, Stillwater. But when it's the only 2 extremes, it's like, okay, this is exhausting. Like, we're going to the same places every time, like, it's not fostering variety. And that's my criticism of current Hunt, other than they do need to work on some stuff. The netcode, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know the situation for the netcode. I do know that the servers have been a little chaotic at times. That I can understand. As far as, like, actual netcode, I think of, like, fighting game netcode.
Right. I don't think a lot of people understand what they're really talking about with servers. Because the netcode we're dealing with isn't exactly the same thing. Netcode in a fighting game is you and one other person directly connecting on that server. For Hunt, we're loading into a dedicated server, essentially. It's a bit different.
Yeah. And the thing is that they have been working on server stability, and I would argue that I, for the most part, have dealt with a lot more stability. But it's also not one of those things where, I guess at the end of the day, really, like, there's no clean fix for it. Because I don't know any game that doesn't have server issues. Even the bigger ones than Hunt have server issues. Fucking ones that have millions of dollars behind it. Like, didn't Apex have some bullshit happen recently where they went down for several hours and you wouldn't expect that?
Yep.
Like, yeah, and it's frustrating. It can be frustrating, but like if you're getting that frustrated, and this is to anybody, like, I've been having fun with Hunt because it's like playing with friends is one of my priorities. All of us play Hunt. Easy. But I also play other games in between, so I'm not just playing the one game.
Dude, I'm deadass not playing Hunt right now, and I'm defending the game. I'm loving the game. I'm telling people to fuck off or people to, fuck in, whatever. But no, genuinely, I don't understand a lot of the hate. If you're not having a good time with the game right now, Hunt is a living game. It is a living product. Just take a break and come back when some major changes have happened. I guarantee you it'll be more fun. The next event is going to be, they said, the biggest event they've ever done. They're going to be changing the map up a little bit from what I can tell. We're going to be getting a big top somewhere on the map. We're going to have a unique AI. We're going to have a unique, like, more grunts. There's so much happening that I think it is going to be a blast, even if you don't agree with a lot of what they're doing. It's a perfect time to just take a break. We're between events right now. Take a break from Hunt, play other games, come back when the new stuff's happening. I'm doing that myself. I'm not even playing Hunt, and I'm making Hunt content right now because I still have a lot to say. Speaking of having a lot to say, part of what we were doing this episode, this minisode for, was for some of your wonderful comments. There's an unbelievable amount of comments on that video I uploaded. It hasn't even been 24 hours, and we're looking at like 100-something comments plus. I truly did not expect it, but that doesn't mean that it's not important to reply to you. Normally, I reply to every comment myself, because it's manageable. This is not manageable this time. There's so many fucking comments. So we figured we would highlight some of the ones that are extremely contrarian, extremely agreeable, whatever, and we would just discuss them on this cast in full detail. Anybody who's commented on there, your comments are public, so I'm sorry for putting you on blast or anything. Your names are included on these comments, but, you know, it's public information at this point. So your usernames, I mean, because you already commented. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. We're going to start with this first one from Just a Hot Dog 8430. I love Hunt with a lot of my heart, but with the game-breaking glitches and horrible netcode that they promised to fix still being around, the content is great, and the gameplay loop is one of a kind. Maybe I just needed a break since I played for a long time. Hunt will be there when I come back. The bayou will always be there. Incredible comment. I love this. It's exactly what we're talking about. This guy said, I don't like the game right now. There's issues I don't want to deal with, but I love the game as a whole. I'm going to take a break from playing it and come back later when the stuff's fixed. Absolutely love this comment.
It's great. Like, to be honest, like, that's what I did for a while, like years ago. I always tell the story of I took a break from Hunt to go play Escape from Tarkov, and this was a few years ago. This was before You're right. This was before the Tarkov controversy that happened earlier in the year. I came back after playing Tarkov, and I appreciated how much more fleshed out and better Hunt was than how Tarkov plays. Because Tarkov, you want to talk about getting peeked from odd angles and being dumb. Like, Tarkov's got it beat, hands down. I don't know about the state of the game right now. I'm just talking about when I played Tarkov. So when I came back, I had such a bigger appreciation for Hunt. And maybe like other people need to do that. I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your life, or in this case, your Hunt life. But I will say that, like, as frustrating as problems can be, sometimes you just got to take a step back. And like, the other problem I see is that a lot of people are not being constructive about it. And that's what I like about this comment, is that it is very constructive. Like, not even in like offering solutions, because I never see solutions get offered. Hell, I still see people commenting bullet drop needs to be removed, and I'm just like, dude, nobody cares. Like, what the fuck? But that's what I mean, is that there's no like constructive. It's just like, hey, this is not for me right now. And yeah, I don't know. Like, other than that, like, because the negativity gets old. And there's a reason I stopped following the Hunt subreddit. I don't look at the Hunt Twitter comments anymore, because it is full of people that are just being shitty just to be shitty.
Right. That's why I love my comments. Because even if I have people coming in here calling me, you know, a retard and telling me I suck and I have the worst opinions known to man, whatever. At least they're going out of their way to come hit to my video, watch the video. Sometimes they watch the video and they'll comment their opinions. This is less of an echo chamber than Reddit is. It's not me against the world. It's me against a few people that have strong opinions, and I love to discuss it with them. Like this second person. Mech Nominal. You're not interpreting the Steam charts correctly. It shows that the recent Halloween event did not bring back any players, and in fact, continued the downward trend post-1896. Based on the Steam charts, there hasn't been a single event in the past that has not gained players. That has got to be very alarming for Crytek, especially considering the game's themes almost directly line up with that time of the year. 3 consecutive months of players dropping off. The Reddit post is also wrongly interpreting the data. We saw the same concurrent player counts for a single month last in September 2023. Overall, the Steam charts do not point towards Hunt being healthy, especially after they burned a lot of development time on basically relaunching the game. I'd like to see the console numbers. Maybe the game is doing well over there. I doubt it, though. Okay, so there's a lot to break down with this comment, but I want to very specifically discuss the player charts because I feel like there's a lot of misinterpretation here, and if I'm wrong, I would like somebody to call me out. But August 2024, I'm looking at the player charts right now. Average players 19,541, a gain of 6,806 average players. 53% increase in average players with a peak players of the highest ever, 59,968. We drop in September. This was expected. I expected this. Everyone expected this. After a month of everybody trying the new map, trying the new engine, whatever, a lot of people are just going to say, fuck it, I'm out. No matter what you do in a game, whether it's an event, whether it's a new update, people join and come and play for the new update, and then they leave in less than a month. It is inescapable. You will always have a drop in every live service game ever created. League of Legends has drops in the tens and tens of thousands. Like, it's impossible to avoid it. So, for September 2024, we're looking at an average players of 14,776 in a loss of average players of 4,765 with a peak of 30K. This was expected. But the reason that this is a little confusing, and I don't blame people, if you look to October, the average player still goes down. 13,788, 987 average, lost to a peak of 29,000. Here's the thing. We were never going to stay at 60K. I hate that people ignore the fact that it was the biggest launch Hunt has ever had. 2.0 was a renaissance of the game. New trailers, ads everywhere, new music. It was literally a new game coming out in a sense. They were pulling out all the stops to make it as exciting as possible, and it worked. 60K peak players, the most the game's ever had. It was impossible to shape up to that with a random Halloween event. I don't understand what people were expecting. The fact that the game stopped bleeding players, in a sense, is growth. Because we lost 4,765 average players after 2.0 launch. That was expected. But when we went to October, we only lost 987. That is a drastically lower amount of lost average players. And then when we go to the last 30 days, now that the event's over, we're down to a peak player count of 25K. Like, these are normal numbers. I don't understand what people are reading here incorrectly. Before in Hunt, the only exciting things happening were the events. We looked back to this Tide of Desolation, fucking Desolation's Wake. There was, every event brought new players in, right? It brought people back, but then they immediately leave the next month. They run their games, they burn themselves out, they leave. Every time. It is a repeating cycle that happens every single time. New event, people come, they play, whatever. It was impossible for this event to show a positive number because we were going to be losing these players anyways. Hunt 2.0 brought an unbelievable amount of people in, an insustainable amount of people. We were not going to be able to have a positive increase this month. So I don't think that's indicative of the game dying. The numbers are just leveling out. And trust me on this, I'm going to put myself out on a limb here, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. I guarantee this Hunt Showdown event coming up with Post Malone is going to have the player count fucking skyrocket. I guarantee it, and if I am wrong, I will eat crow. On live, I will eat a crow. Not really, but I'm serious. People are doing the best they can to be as ignorant as possible with the player charts. It was going to go down no matter what they did. They could have had the biggest event ever right now, and it still would have gone down because nothing will ever top 2.0. I don't even think the Post Malone event's going to top 2.0's launch. Nothing will. They would have to be, and it would have to be the best event ever. But,
right. And it very well could be. It very well could be.
Who knows? Who fucking knows? We're not there yet. But what I will say is that the player count is not bad at all. I've seen way worse. Fuck. One of my favorite games ever Battle Right, has 80 peak players right now. Like, dude, like, this is not bad at all. And people are misinterpreting this information to a crazy extent. It was going to drop. We're seeing an average player count, or a peak player count, that is similar to what it was before 2.0. That's not a bad thing. Because 2.0 brought a lot of people in, and now they're just waiting for the next exciting event to come through. And when it does, we're going to see that player count fucking skyrocket. I'm sorry, Deadman. I went on a bit of a tirade there, but I'm looking at the
You're
player
good, man.
charts.
You're good, man.
No, because I've got a lot of people. That's a big thing. I've seen a lot of comments telling me that I'm wrong about the Steam charts. I'm like, no, you fuckers are you're not misinterpreting the data, but you're not giving people the whole picture. That's incredibly important. We were always going to have a drop here. It was impossible. It would have had to be the biggest event ever to have an increase of players from 2.0 to now.
Right.
We were going to have a drop. We need like 6 months for the player charts to level out, and then we'll see how events are really impacting it.
Right. And the other side of it for me is that, like, while I understand that people are poring over the data, why are you so worried about it? If Crytek's not worried about it, then you're not getting paid to worry about it. Like, That's the thing is, at the end of the day, Crytek is not worried about it at the moment. Like, some people, I think even some people with the Post Malone thing, it's like, oh, we got, or I maybe even in one of the comments that I read when you were sharing them, like, bro, like, they're not doing this because they're worried about it. They're doing it because Post honestly probably reached out to them. Yeah, and then they started talking, or one of the parties reached out, and like you said, Post Malone is very good about, like, kind of talking with people. And to be honest, there's worse fucking celebrities they could have picked.
Bro, imagine Will Smith in the bayou. I'd lose my fucking mind.
Oh my god, in his Wild Wild West outfit.
Like. Oh my god.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is just another thing. Like, again, going back to the Hunt is a product thing. And if you don't like the product, come back later. It'll change. Hunt has massively changed since 2018. Several times. And I've been playing Hunt when there was only 1,000 or less people playing. I still see people, like, occasionally I'll see the same people because you're queuing up at the same times or whatever, right? But the thing is, at the end of the day, let's take another live service game that goes through some strife. Let's take Destiny 2. If Destiny 2 or Bungie found out that Katy Perry had 1,000 hours in Destiny 2, you don't think we'd be queuing up for the Trials of California Girls right now? Like, bruh, we would. That's stupid not to do that, because the thing is that puts more eyes on the game. Like, marketing wise, it's genius, and the fact that that Hunt still made it to where we had, something that, like, Post Malone looks, again, we mentioned it, looks like a tier 3 hunter. So the fact that we're going to have that, it's pretty cool. And I love, and again, if it's not your vibe, it's not your vibe. Again, not everything in Hunt is going to be about your vibe. There's more than just the one individual or a group of individuals. It's just how it goes. So realistically, at the end of the day, what we're about to deal with is that Hunt is going into a new era. Hunt has been going into a new era for a while, and people don't know how to be constructive, I would say, for the most part. I'm not calling out any of the individual comments, but bitching and whining endlessly does not get shit done. Just be like, hey, this doesn't feel good. And, I wish Crytek had more time to actually have conversations with its fans, but the company's just flat out not big enough. But we could ask them, hey, what are the limitations of the engine and what can we do? Like, is there anything that could be implemented? Because honestly, implementing one mechanic takes months, if not years in some cases.
Right.
So, but...
All right, so that we talked about the player charts and a lot of that stuff. We still have quite a few comments to go through here. Bottom line is, we were going to bleed these players. It was unavoidable. Mm-hmm. Thousands of people came to try Hunt because of friends bringing them in or the events, and they were never going to stay. The fact that this event slowed the bleeding is a good thing. If it was really that bad, you would have seen minus 6,000, minus 6,000, not minus 6,000, minus 900.
Right.
That's a crazy change. So, we'll move on to our next comment. This is from Rain8056. As someone who used to play Apex a lot, this game is not even close to losing its identity like Apex did, and if I understand correctly, Hunt is older, which makes that even more impressive. The gameplay has never been better aside from the server issues and trading. Bounty Clash was a breath of fresh air, which I hope they do make that a permanent game mode. And getting a celebrity involved with someone like Post Malone was awesome. I think this game has nothing but a bright future ahead of it. Incredible comment. It's talking about some issues other games, similar games, have had, right? Because Hunt is, in a sense, even though it's an extraction shooter, it has battle royale elements in it. So comparing it to Apex is not a bad comparison there. Another live service game with battle royale elements, some extraction shooter elements. So, love this comment. The server issues in trading. Let's talk about that. Trading is going to be better. They are quite literally adding a new trade window in that is drastically smaller. And they explained why the trade window was bigger to begin with. Because back in the day, in Hunt 1.0, a long time ago, the trade window was so small, along with the servers not being so strong, that if you shot and somebody else killed you, your bullets would disappear. And that doesn't feel good. Your bullets would just vaporize into thin air the moment you died. That sucks. Because in real life, people talk about, oh, the realism in Hunt. In real life, your bullets don't stop flying if you fire your gun. They keep going. So as a band-aid fix for that, while they waited for their technology to improve over time, they just made the trade window fucking huge. And it was better than the alternative. Having trading when you're not supposed to is better than never trading at all. So they are now pulling it back because, contrary to popular belief, their servers have improved. They have purchased better servers. The game is in 2.0 now. The engine's better. They can support a better trade window and have it be much healthier. I forgot the percentage. It was like a 90%
it was insane.
It was a drastically high percentage changing on the trade window, going from like 70 milliseconds to like 7. Some random. I wish I had the number right.
It was like 8,000 to like 8,000 milliseconds, I think, to like under 100. I want to say.
I believe that's correct.
Or something.
Yeah, when you do these things out of nowhere, you can't have all the data in front of you like you normally do. We normally prep a lot more. But yeah, no, we talked about that in one of our casts. Again, one of our casts. We're always talking about the good when we have it. That is an incredible change that we haven't got implemented yet. They're probably waiting for the next event to put it in, and I'm excited for it. So, in regards to servers and trade windows, they have improved. So even on this comment, the negatives are still a positive in a sense. I love that they talk about Bounty Clash being a breath of fresh air. I agree. It was the first time we had a new game mode since solos were added, or since Soul Survivor was added. And I hope it's
which was added before even 1.0. So and it was like, we got a lot to look forward to in this upcoming event, like for real. Because
I'm so excited.
Just because, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's like we were talking about. Like, there is stuff being added. Sometimes it's just slow. Hunt's always been slow. Like, they've only improved in like getting patches out, because sometimes we wouldn't get a patch for like 6, 7, 8 months.
Bro, even events. You'd wait 6 months for an event. It was only on a holiday.
Yeah, and sometimes they weren't even events. Like, events used to only last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it was like the Halloween events for 3 years. I've been doing research. It was literally just Butcher getting a pumpkin on his head. That was the whole Halloween event. That was it.
Yeah, and then Christmas was Spider getting socks, and you would have not like Christmas lights, but like Butcher was decorated in some fashion.
Yep, they added some Christmas trees around. The cash registers looked like presents. That was your whole event. It was just some decor.
Yeah, and this, to me, is going to be like just a visually unique event. Because honestly, like, Christmas events are fine and they're fun. But I much prefer the direction they're going now. Like, they're doing a circus. They're probably going to have something Christmas related in it for the season.
Oh my god, if they added snow. I'd highly doubt it. But if they added snow, I'd fucking cream my jorts.
Not the jorts, bro. Fucking not the shit I wear. Anyway, but nah. And honestly, though, like, I would say that's another that would be another like criticism I have, is that we don't have every time of day back that we had before. But it's the same thing, Matt. Like the map fatigue stuff. Like, I know it's coming, but it's tiresome of getting like day maps all the time because I'm in the minority, and I know that I don't like day maps. Um,
I like
I
night
play
maps a
them.
lot.
Well, and it's not even like night maps. I love Thunder Shower. I love the
Oh, you don't mean just the time of day. You mean also the elements that we had, the different
yeah,
weather. Yeah, I no. So here's the thing that's I've thought about this for a while. Even when we had the different weather events, people bitched about it. People
oh
bitched.
yeah, no, they do.
Like the fucking like the heavy rain, dude. Oh my god, I can't hear feet anymore. I'm like, so if we had them now, people would still be bitching. I want to go back to just day so that the game is more competitive. I want
Uh,
less variables. No matter what they do, people will be a contrarian because it just makes them hard, I guess. I don't know. It's what they want to do. They want to only complain. And I mean, I guess there's a lot of comments here. We can jump to a very important comment because it talks about other people complaining. So I'm going to explain this here. I had Hazmat for the win, who is a much bigger YouTuber than I am in the hunt space. He reached out to me because for some reason his comments kept getting removed. I don't know why. I don't ever remove comments, even bad comments I don't remove, and I have no auto moderation. So he tried to send his comment like 8 times and it just kept disappearing. We tried everything. I did an hour and a half of research into this and I couldn't figure out why the fuck it was happening. So I got a screenshot of his comment before it was removed. And we're going to respond to it. I'll put it on the screen here so that he can be heard. I want his voice to be heard, and we will discuss his comment because it relates to what we're talking about right now. Hello. First off, I think you raise many valid points, some of which I even agree with, but there are a few aspects of your video I'd like to address. Quote, hunt is fine, end quote. I don't think this holds up. Personally, I feel that hunt is currently in one of the weakest states I've seen in a long time, specifically in terms of functionality and performance. Over the past few months, I've experienced performance slowdowns, stuttering, glitches, server instability, and even outright crashes. This eventually led to me taking a break from the game for about a month. When I recently came back, things didn't seem better. In fact, they felt worse. I also believe this sentiment is echoed in the wider community. If you browse through comments on X, parentheses Twitter, end parentheses, or in Hunt's Facebook groups, you'll see numerous posts dealing with current bugs and issues. The same holds true on Reddit, where every second or third post in the Hunt Showdown subreddit highlights problems players are encountering. Your reaction to the community's feedback is worth considering here too. The frustrations being expressed didn't arise out of nowhere. They're a direct response to how Crytek has handled Hunt Showdown, not just recently, but over an extended period. I also think it's unfair to reduce other perspectives to terms like echo chamber discourse, complaining, or negativity, just because they differ from your own. The community's concerns exist for a reason, and dismissing them doesn't benefit anyone. Criticism of the game doesn't mean these players don't love it as much as you do. It doesn't mean they're working against the game's success. Simply put, differing opinions don't invalidate someone's contribution to the community. So, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, thank you, Hazmat, for commenting on the video. I appreciate you taking the time to respond, and sorry about the whole comments getting removed thing. I genuinely don't know what the fuck's going on with that. I can't fix it. I did everything I could. I even offered, dude. I even offered to comment, like to put his comment on there myself, under my name, and I would just say it was from him. He didn't go for it, but like I don't know what to do. He said he might make a response video. I look forward to it. I told him I'd plug it on my channel if he did. So, we'll start with the hunt is fine thing. The game, weak state. Let's talk about why the state of the game is weak right now. There's still bugs. The engine still is getting ironed out. We're down 2 maps from the total of 4 that we're supposed to have. The event just ended recently. The event is not super great. Wasn't super great. We talked about it. And
yep.
But here's the thing. All of these things are being improved, and they have been improved. Day 1, Deadman and I experienced some of the most bugs we've ever experienced in Hunt. It was fucking miserable. It was nigh unplayable.
Yeah, and it was definitely, and to preface, it was definitely more like you had more problems than I did, and I have a weaker machine. God. And I have a weaker machine. I will say that, 100% weaker machine. I have a 1080 Ti. I have like an i5 or something like that. I have more parts. I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been looking at other stuff. But realistically, at the end of the day, I agree that a lot of stuff has gotten ironed out and just overall a lot better, you know?
Dude, we went from pages of bug fixes to less than a page. If you look at the hot fixes that they've been putting out a hot fix like every other week, bro. And the hot fixes are like a page and a half of these fixes. They're working on it. It's so hard to explain to people how big of a change the whole engine update was. There was no telling once you put 60,000 players on the new engine what would go wrong. It's impossible to account for that many variables. So they've been doing really well with quick updates. They've been communicating to an insane degree. We've gotten so many developer videos talking about these things. So is Hunt in one of the weakest states it's ever been? Yes, but it's getting better. And it had to go through this. To reach the best point of Hunt we ever could, we had to get to the bad. We had to deal with all of these, I call them growing pains, because we needed this in order to grow. So the slowdowns, the stuttering, the glitches, server instability, and outright crashes, these things have gotten a lot better for me. I barely have any of these fucking issues. The most issue I have is that every game, it looks like Minecraft for the first 8 seconds, then the textures load in, and then I'm good. So it's getting better.
Right.
I believe they sentiment is echoed in the wider community. If you browse through all these different communities, you'll see numerous posts dealing with bugs and issues. Yes, of course you will, because if somebody has an issue, they're going to talk about it. But I'll be honest, and I'm going to sound like the biggest asshole ever here, I think a lot of these people aren't experiencing the bugs as often as they say they do. I think they experience it once. They're like, oh my god, this is terrible. I'm experiencing this every game. This is miserable. Because it gets you attention. It gets you upvotes. It gets you everything you want. And do some people offer proof? Yes. And I feel bad for them. A lot of people don't offer proof. They give you a paragraph of explanation. They say it's happening all the time. The game is ruined. The game is dead. Terrible. Terrible fucking opinions. I hate when these people do this. It's so easy to get proof. Your game crashed. There's a crash log. You can take a screenshot. There's so much you could do to prove this is actually happening instead of saying it's happening. So I don't disagree that there's a lot of people in the community that are having these issues. I think a lot of people blow it out of proportion. There's dozens of people in my community. And I don't mean to say like, because I'm not trying to make an echo chamber. There's people in there that fucking disagree with me all the time. Deadman even disagrees with me on a lot of stuff, but
oh yeah,
all the time. But in the community, there's so many people and they're talking about how great the game is, how awesome it is. They're barely ever having issues. They just want to find more people to play with because there's so many people bitching and complaining and leaving. So these issues are still happening. It's impossible. A game will always have bugs. You can never get rid of all of them. But I think a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah, and to kind of compound that, yes, it is in a weak state, and specifically, I believe Hazmat said it's like one of the weakest states it's been in a long time.
Yes,
I also agree with that. For me, it's not the weakest it's ever been. Again, I've been playing since early access. I've seen this game at its absolute ugliest. So to me, this is going to impact it less. Does that mean it should impact them less? No. Again, it just goes back to, dude, give it a while. I have been saying, I think I said it to you and I said it to a couple of other friends. Hunt is in early access 2.0. They just can't bill it like that.
I agree.
And the problem is that the modern gamescape and corporatescape and whatever, they can't just halt Hunt. They also can't launch Hunt 2. That's just, it's not feasible. It's not a feasible thing. And, again, this goes back to Hunt as a product. The thing is, most people have already put their money in. They need to find a way to retain players while still ironing out all of these issues. Because I look at, and this is something that I feel like some people highlight, but don't remember or something like that. Crytek is a bigger company than an indie dev studio, but they're still a small company. The Hunt team is incredibly small. For the type of game that they have, it's nuts, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with being frustrated about how the game is. I get frustrated at the game too. But again, I just kind of am like, all right, nah, I'm good. I just need a break, and then I'll come back, and it'll be fine. Because I'm frustrated with some of the balance stuff that people don't think is a balance issue. Say what?
I said burning. Burning sucks.
Yeah. Burning. I would say the prevalence of burning. Burning's been in the game forever. But the prevalence of burning sucks. I hate that dum-dums on every fucking gun in the game. which is also compacted with the fact that shotguns have bleed, bows, arrows, knives, all of that has bleed. Like, there's more bleed damage, I feel like, than just flat out damage in the game. And that's me talking out of my ass. I will say that. But I am kind of over dumb ammo.
Same.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, again, and I'm sure some people, like, I even Hazmat said he's like took a break for a month. Sometimes you need to take a longer break. I took a break from a game that I loved for 2 years, and then came back, and I was like, okay, this is much better. Like, I took a break I actually, like, with Hunt, because this is before the events really started. I took a break from Hunt for like a year. I would like poke in every so often, you know, like every few months I would like kind of like go in, play a couple games, and I was like, okay, whatever. The only reason I play it so consistently now is because I'm a skin whore and I love collecting the skins. But I still have fun doing it. And if you're not having fun, again, maybe take a breath of fresh air. Trust that Crytek, with its smaller team, and again, I hope that they continue to improve the communication, because we've seen that they didn't have, I think in that post, they were talking about how they didn't really have like a dedicated community manager anymore, and then they just hired a new one. And I have seen more communications recently than, I don't know, the last year.
Yeah, no, dude, when I got copyright striked, I had a dev, Cry Nate. He reached out to me on Steam. Like,
yeah, no, and I saw that. I remember you told me about it too. Like, we were talking about it in like either before one of the episodes or in DMs or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
That's cool as fuck.
There's so much going on, dude.
Yeah, no, and ultimately, like, that's the thing. Like, I think one of the things that we have to recognize as a community, and again, it's not to belittle anyone's opinion, because you're allowed to have opinions, sometimes. But the thing is, at the end of the day, people do talk like their opinion is absolute, and I think that's what personally grates against me. I don't like when people speak it as an absolute, and I'm not saying Hazmat or anyone else is speaking like that as far as the comments that you've highlighted. At least the ones I could remember. But there's a reason people don't listen to the Steam forums. There's people don't listen to don't look at Reddit, don't look at Twitter. And I'm not saying it's the same exact reasons I have, but the reason I stopped looking is because people just bitch constantly. And they didn't have any sort of thing. They could have just said, hey, like, they could have done it in more constructive ways than what they do. Like, I'll be the first to admit, Hunt has gotten me to rage probably more so than any other PvP game I've played because of an issue or something like that. The way somebody plays, I step into a bear trap, I plainly saw I died to a dog on my last health bar, whatever. Like, just take a second and step back. And I know not everybody's going to do that. Because I would argue that Hazmat did do that. Like, he stepped back, really thought about it, like, you know, taking that break and then put out the Hunt video. But again, like, there's a reason people clown on the Steam forums. There's a reason people clown on Reddit. There's definitely a reason people clown on Twitter. Like, there is not a whole lot of thinking that goes into those posts. It's just rage, or people copy paste the same thing, or whatever. Again, I think I told you, I don't remember if it was in a Between the Hunt. I still had a dude that I had to block because every time, like, it was a guy that was on my friends list, and him and I did not jive well. Every single Hunt post I see, you have blocked this user, and it's him saying remove bullet drop. I'm like, bro, it's here. Like, they haven't reverted it. They're not going to revert it. People aren't even bitching about bullet drop anymore. Like, I know some people don't like it, but then again, if it doesn't affect you at the end of the day, don't worry about it. And on that other note, the performance issues absolutely can affect things and affect your enjoyment of a game. I have that even on other games. Like, if I haven't played Space Marine 2 because my rig can't handle it. It crashes in like 5 seconds. But I'm not sitting there running to the devs and saying, hey, you need to fix this because it crashes on my system. It'll either get fixed eventually or it won't. That's the long and the short of it. I also mentioned I have an older rig. I'm not saying that solves everybody's problem, but If you mess with the settings and you're still having functionality issues, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like that, because that's also not my job at the end of the day.
Well, I'm not trying to break up this stuff. But Jesus Christ, I just looked and I'm almost at 5K views in that video. That's the most I've ever had, by the way.
There you go.
In not even 24 hours. What the hell is happening? There's a lot of people disagreeing with me too. Good, bring it on. I like people disagreeing with me, contrary to popular fucking belief. I want us all to have differing opinions so that we can debate with each other and improve things. I don't want an echo chamber like Reddit, dude. I hate that shit.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. And again, it's fair to view, because again, that's like something that also Hazmat mentioned. It's fair to feel like that's kind of like kind of invalidating people's opinions. And the thing is that people are going to do that regardless of how good your intentions are. Like, because the problem is that it is an echo chamber, and I wouldn't say that like that's necessarily invalidating the criticism. An echo chamber is literally just that.
Dude,
like
Reddit is a platform where if there's too much discourse, they lock the forum down.
Yes.
Like, if that's not an echo chamber, I don't know what the hell is.
Yeah, I agree.
And I tell you what, I'll touch on this because I do feel passionately about this. I don't want people to think I'm invalidating their opinions because I'm saying that Reddit is an echo chamber and it's discourse, or that they're just complaining or it's just negativity. I welcome opinions that are negative about the game. I just wish people would be more constructive about it. It's like you said, nobody ever offers solutions. It's never, I don't like this is what I do to change it. It's, I don't like this, the game is dead, everybody should stop playing it. That's the most miserable stance to have on a fucking game or anything in your entire life ever. I hate it. And that's growing more and more and more, and I see it from Reddit and the Steam forums more than any other platform. So when I'm saying it's an echo chamber, I'm saying that literally in the definition of an echo chamber, Reddit is one. Am I saying that everybody in there submits to that and they're all talking out of their ass? No. I've seen good posts on the Reddit. I've seen positive people. Unfortunately, they just kind of get drowned out by the others a lot of the time, or they get downvoted to oblivion.
I agree.
So
I agree.
So I'm not removing everybody's opinions from existing. I welcome them. I'm saying that the platform itself supports echo chamber behavior.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And again, this is all like sparked and it's echoed in some of the other comments, but also like kind of sparked because we highlighted Hazmat's. The thing, and like there's a difference between criticism as well and people just saying this game's fucking dead. That's not a criticism of the game. We have people saying dead game on single player games. Like Buster. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You're not supposed to play a single player game for 500 hours doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Like, unless the game is literally 500 hours long.
Doom posting. It's just doom posting.
Yeah, like to me, that's when you that's the line I have. If you're saying it's a dead game, if you're saying it's this, if you're saying it's this, I hate to break it to you, but 10,000 players playing, that's not a dead game.
And we have more. We've got 24K.
Yeah. And I would say even right now, this is like before a holiday in the US.
After an event ended.
Yeah, after an event in the middle of the day, 13,000 people are playing. And let me tell you, there's also a lot of other events going on right now that are leading into the Christmas stuff. There's also more games coming out. Like, the thing is, the numbers that are shown on a daily basis are going to be the hardcore hunt players. Like, it's just how it is. Like, if we really want to go look at another one, like another game that's been out for roughly the same amount of time, but is like more accessible-ish. It's also an entirely different game. Dead by Daylight has 40,000 players right now in the middle of the day. And that has more markets than Hunt does.
Yep. Hunt is a niche game. It still is a niche game.
Yeah, and the thing is, people say Dead by Daylight's a dead game.
It doesn't have 100K active right now. Dead game, dude.
Fucking, I'm sure there's people that say Counter-Strike 2 is a dead game, and that shit's right under our like 1 million players, bro.
Dude, it's I'm yawning. Holy shit! No, there's always going to be ebbs and flows. Let me get my mic closer to my face. There's always going to be ebbs and flows with a player count, especially with Hunt. We have an event, people come, they leave. We have an event, people come, they leave.
Yeah, because
Just
grinding
give
does
us some
wear
time.
on people. The grinding does wear on people, and it wears on me.
It does.
Too.
The casual players don't grind. They play when it's exciting and everybody else is playing. They want to be part of that community, and then they get burnt out pretty quick and they leave. And they take a break and they come back later for the next big thing. That's not a bad thing.
Nope.
Casual players make up a majority of your player base, even in a niche game like Hunt. That's how we got so many fucking people when 2.0 came out. We got a bunch of brand new casual players. They were casual. They played when it was exciting. After a couple weeks, they're like, you know what? Hunter isn't really my grind game. And they left. And that is completely fine. Okay.
And again, at the end of the day, like, I understand where Horse is coming from, and this is again somebody who's been his friend for over a year and has had to deal with the Hunt community at large since 2018.
Yeah.
When it was less than 1,000 players. There's only so much negativity people are willing to put up with, especially when there's a lot of external factors and them not being constructive. Because, and again, like we've echoed, or not even echoed this, but we've said this multiple times already during this episode. It's the fact of how people are presenting it and how it's being received. And how it's being received right now is that people are just bitching endlessly. People are, and that's the thing, is that the other people that are and I'll offer an olive branch. The people that are bitching endlessly about the negativity, step back from the places that have the negativity.
Yep.
Like that will be my olive branch. Let some people bitch. You don't have to interact with all the negative things.
That's why we just welcomed 30 fucking people into our Discord today.
Right.
30 people. And they're all joining in saying, love this game. I have some issues with it, but I just wanted to see more awesome people. Bam.
Right.
Come join the community. Links in the description. There's so many great people in there. Even people that dislike the game right now are in there, but they're being constructive about it. And they can still talk about the things they like. That's what we love about Hunt.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, like, and I'll be honest, like, because I'm sure, well, like Hazmat, I'm sure you're gonna watch it. I've watched your stuff before. I got through a modicum of your video, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna interact with it. This is not for me right now. And like, and on the other side of that, people are like, oh, well, they have problems with Hazmat. No, I'm sure Hazmat's a cool dude.
I got no problems with him, dude. I spent an hour and a half today trying to figure out why the hell his comment kept getting removed. I even offered to comment his comment myself because I really wanted to help. Right. His comment disagreeing with me, by the way.
Right. No, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, I'm sure Hazmat's a good dude. I am tired of interacting with the negativity. Again, I unsubbed. I mentioned in the Discord earlier. I have been unsubbed from the Reddit for 2 years because I got tired of it. I got tired of people bitching. I got tired of people like not offering anything constructive. They're being like vile, vitriolic for something that they know next to nothing about. Like, because I don't see any coders coming up in the community being like, oh well, they could do this, and this, and like, they're not offering anything. And I'm not saying that's everything. Again, criticism is absolutely valid. Hunt's in a weird spot right now. For me personally, it's been fine, but it is in a weird spot right now. We addressed this at the beginning. But I also didn't leave a negative reaction on Hazmat's video because I didn't feel a need to comment on it. His frustrations with the game are just as valid as our frustrations with the people being negative about the game. That's it. He thought about it, then he posted it.
Yep.
Like, that's all we ask. Or I wouldn't even say ask. That's the type of interactions I would want to see more of in the community, but we don't see that very often. And and at the end of the day, I have no actual opinion on Hazmat's video. That's it. I am just tired of dealing with negativity because I have external factors that prevent me from having a good time when I'm in those spaces or thinking critically, even.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. Well, I don't want this whole video to just be dedicated to Hazmat, so we'll quickly continue on to other comments. I don't want anybody to feel less important than anybody else.
Sure.
And for the record, all of you, if any of you end up watching this and go, he didn't see my comment, I do read your comments. Trust me. It's just really hard to reply to 150 comments and also work on projects at the same time, which is why we're doing this. So, Fabio Poly 420. When you go and purposely remove lore from your game, it does make it seem like you hate your own universe. Completely fair. Completely fair comment. I was also miffed when they were removing all the lore. The Monstorium, the gun books, everything was removed from the game. You can only access them from third-party websites right now. However, they said they removed them because they sucked and they wanted to add a new and better system that was fully integrated. And I think I'm not gonna put this on main. I'm not entirely sure. I think we might get some hints of that in the next event. There's definitely gonna be lore in the next event. It's the biggest event ever. We're gonna get some lore. I'm curious to see how they implement it. So, just wait it out. I know more of the waiting. I'm sorry. I love the lore of the game so much, and they do not make it easy to access the lore at all. So hopefully that will improve in the future.
Yeah, they did. I will say this: when they were talking about the removal, I do remember this. Is that they wanted to bring it back in a different way, right?
Yep.
And I can agree with that because honestly, unfortunately, I do think having lore, because again, I vibe with that comment. I miss being able to read in between like matches or something like that. Being able to read stuff, you have to go because like not all of it's gone because the weapon skin lore is there, but then the hunters lore is like hidden.
You can only look at their lore if you don't own them.
Right, and that I only have like 6 I don't own right now.
That's what I'm saying. So, I own so many of them. It's so ass. Right.
Yeah, and that is a valid criticism because again, there was a significant portion of the community, Hazmat included. Again, I have seen his he covers lore. That's one of his big things. Excuse me. But again, after that, I'm hoping again it's just growing pains, like you said, and they will get something more. Going to a third-party website does kind of suck, and it's only for the Book of Weapons and Monsters. It's not necessarily for the hunters.
Yep.
Or the guns, or whatever.
Yep, unless you go to Deadman's YouTube channel, all the lore from previous events doesn't exist. It's not even on the wiki. It just doesn't exist.
Right.
You have to know a guy who knows a guy to get that lore, and that's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, and I will say the other thing about it is that I don't have some of them either. Like just because it goes back and it wasn't voiced, and now like the original recording wasn't that great, so I didn't want to upload it. I do know that Hazmat I think has covered a couple of those older ones, so I would say go check his out too.
Yeah, bro, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. Go check out his channel, 100%.
Yeah, so that I 100% agree with. It does suck for the lore. I don't think it's gone forever though. Like I really don't think it's gone forever.
There were higher priorities. I'm going to sound condescending here. There were way higher priorities than lore right now. 2.0 of the game came out. The gameplay had to be top notch or the game was going to flop, and the gameplay's great. So the lore will come back eventually. I'm waiting for it.
Hunt is not a single player game.
I agree. This next one is a really important comment that I'm really excited to highlight this one because it's really important. Jester Clown Mime. Great name, by the way. The community was positive years ago. People don't like being lied to for years on end. The trade window being significantly reduced is a step in the right direction, but that is something that never should have existed in the first place and removed years ago like the devs said they would. Major issues like region locking keeps getting dangled in front of us like jangly keys to string us along, and they have failed to follow through multiple times for years. The success of the game is not dependent on the players, only Crytek. They said that they would get better servers. Many times for years, never happened. A lot to touch on here, so I guess I'll start with the easiest one, region locking. They went on main saying they didn't want to do a region lock. They did the closest thing they could, which was ping locking, ping limits. Because they understand that Hunt is a multicultural game across the world. They don't want to stop me, for example, from playing with my German viewers over on EU. So if they get region locked out, I literally can't play with them, and that would make me so sad. I play with them all the time. So because they're willing to, because their ping isn't too bad enough that they're locked out of the ping limit, and they're willing to take a hit on their ping, they can still play with me. My viewers love you guys over in Germany. They still play with me because there are not region locks. Region locks are a good and a bad thing. Good thing in that they help distinctify regions and their player counts. Good in that they keep certain cheaters who are heavy in certain regions away from other regions, right? But they're bad in that it prevents that cultural mingling of all your players. And I really am glad that they gave us a system to stop VPN users from hopping over from 3 countries over into your server. That's not able to happen anymore. But there's still not a region lock, and I'm actually supportive of this. I'm happy the ping limit's there, but I'm so relieved that I could still play with my European viewers and not be completely locked out of playing with them. So I don't think region locking is the move. I really don't. Not for Hunt. We don't have enough cheaters in, like, say, China that it's that big of a deal.
And one thing I will say, I don't know where these comments are coming from or who's making them, like where they are and what they're experiencing. I can tell you though, on US East, I've run into Europeans who have better ping than people from across the US. Like,
dead ass. No, there's a guy I play with from US West who gets like 120, and one of our European viewers, he gets like 80 ping.
Right, like, well, because like
Germany.
Yeah, no, and the worst part is that, like, yeah, ping can be frustrating sometimes, like, and that, like, you know, I'm not arguing that. I remember dealing with fucking Counter-Strike's ping way back in the day. But, like, I used to play with a dude who lives in the UK. Homie got better ping than I did when I would play on US West. Like, as in, like, he got better ping playing on US East than I would playing US West. Granted, the US is a big place. But he would get called a ping abuser. And I was like, dude, his ping is on par with mine. It's only 40 points high, like 40 ticks higher, I guess, is what would be said or whatever. But that's what I mean. And I'm not saying that, like, they're making that comment in bad faith. Maybe they are in an area where ping abusing is bad.
Probably Oceania, where there's like nobody playing, maybe.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons they won't put on region lock as well, is because of Oceania.
Oh my god, yeah, if they region lock, dude, in Oceania, you would literally have 60 players. You would never get a game. Yeah. They would have to just completely give up on that whole region.
Yeah, and that's not conducive to anything.
That's not okay. Imagine loving a game and literally not getting to play it anymore just because of region lock. Fuck region lock.
Right.
Dude. Some games where you've got hundreds of thousands of players, I get it. Not Hunt. Hunt is too niche. A region lock would kill this game for some countries. So they also mentioned the trade window. Okay, we talked about this earlier. We're not going to talk about this for too long. Remember, the devs said they would deal with the trade window, and they are dealing with it. They only added it as a band-aid fix. Trading when you're not supposed to is better than never trading at all. So the trade window's fine. It's going to be better, and I'm happily excited for that. We talked about region lock. Better servers. They did get better servers, by the way. They're having issues lately. There's a lot going on in the background. I feel like, but they're still working on it. But they did get better servers, because I remember when I first started playing, the servers were fucking dog ass. They were terrible. I would be, oh my god, I would be getting the packet loss icon in the top right of my screen like every other game. Now it's like once a day. The servers are better. They are. And I feel like the people that are experiencing these issues are playing genuinely way too much Hunt, because I play a decent amount of Hunt, and especially during the event, I was playing a lot of Hunt, and I barely ever had server issues once in a while. So if somebody's experiencing them every day, constantly, I feel like you are playing way too much fucking Hunt. Honestly, if I'm being honest, like maybe it's different on US East. If you're in another type of server in another region and your servers suck balls, let me know, please, in the comments below. I remember back in the day, US or the EU had terrible servers. They might still have those. So if your servers are worse in your region, let me know below, so I'm not blowing smoke up your ass.
Right, for sure.
We'll go from there.
And that's why I said at the beginning, it's like, you know, it could be different depending on region. because that's also, I think, another thing that people don't take into account is like what the like, talk about performance issues and ping issues, like where you located, what your build, that kind of shit. Like what's your internet situation? Because I had shit internet up until recently. Like my internet service provider went downhill and was absolute trash tier. I switched internet. Fine. I'll have the thing where the server won't load the game, but I just go back to the menu and just re-queue. It takes 2 seconds.
So we've only got a few more comments here. A couple of these, we actually touched on this already. Fox123, quote, Hunt is fine, end quote, lol. Yes, of course, after the event, the players are less, but the fact we had a big new engine update and somehow they did not hold any of the players with it is kind of telling, and the fact that it's the lowest now, it should be way higher if the game was doing good. It's not the lowest now. It's not. Did you see Hunt when it first came out? It was fucking terrible. There was nobody playing it. And not only that, the big engine update did keep players. We still have more than we did years ago. So we've already touched on this a lot. I'm not going to touch on this a whole lot here, but I understand where you're coming from. We are still doing better, and we were going to bleed those players no matter what we did. Viper192. I agree with every single point you've made, though I will admit Crytek has fumbled with some stuff recently, like the UI. I don't disagree with you, but genuinely they've done so much good for the game and have brought so many new players to this amazing game we've been playing and loving for years. Love this comment. The UI, by the way, I'm going to go on main with this. I'm going to piss people off. It's ugly, it's codified, sure, but it is functional. And if you work with it, you use the favoriting system, you make loadouts, it's actually, and using hotkeys, it's actually a lot faster than the old UI. It's way faster. It is so, if you work with this UI, even if it's ugly, if you work with it, it is more efficient. And that is a step in the right direction. A UI shouldn't be what brings people into your game, a pretty UI. It should be a functional UI.
I agree. And you know what? If the UI is the straw that breaks your back on not playing the game, then fair. You don't have to like it, but
I agree.
They have already improved the UI, and
God, yeah, they've made so many improvements.
So, and we've already talked about that. Like we have talked about that. The UI has gotten better. It's going to get even better in the next update, and it's going to be even better with that. And again, back to my comment, we're in Hunt Showdown Early Access 2.0. They just can't build it like that.
God, I wish they could have put the early access tag on it. They would have gotten clowned for like a week, but if it had the early access tag on it, anybody listening right now, in your head, imagine if the game had an early access tag on it right now, almost everything would be forgiven. And it deserves an early access tag right now, but it's not allowed to have one because it looks bad.
Yeah, well, and that's the other side of it is that it is already a release product, and they updated it, like we talked about earlier. That's how I'm viewing it. And again, I've been through Hunt during its absolute worst. I'm not saying it's perfect right now. No, I love Serpent's Moon. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That was the best goddamn play event. Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Because you're going to sit there and tell me that Serpent's Moon was worse than fucking Trader's Moon? Trader's Moon had it to where if you were locked out. If you did not finish the event, you were locked out of weapons for 6 months. I don't want to hear anyone's shit. Like, anyway, we're not... Shit. Yeah, I had the weapons and I didn't like it. Let me put it that way.
I'm fucking dead.
But the event, like... The event is a whole event stuff is a whole different conversation. I just went on it. And again, I'm talking to clarify because there's going to be somebody in the comments that says, "What do you mean Serpent's Moon was grindy?" I didn't say it wasn't grindy. I was saying the actual gameplay loop of the event was the best event we fucking had because it was. Do I agree with the grind? But as far as gameplay and reinforcing the gameplay aspects of Hunt Showdown, it was the best one we had. Hands down. It rewarded PvP, it rewarded exploration, it rewarded getting to the objective. End of discussion. 4-8 now. We'll come back to this later. So.
Oh my god. Alright. Is there anything else you wanted to say quick before I move on to our last comment?
No. I'm good.
Okay. There was one more comment I was saving for last. It was one of the longest comments I found. Appreciate people taking the time out of their day to do this, by the way. Really appreciate you doing this. Table Slayer Gaming. The doom and gloom may be an exaggeration. However, just ignoring people's concerns with the game like nothing is wrong with it is just damn ignorant. Even people like Psycho Ghost have become more and more critical of the choices the developers have made recently. Is the game bad? No. Is it dying? Unlikely. Though there has been a downward trend which should be addressed. Shouting, quote, "The end is nigh," is as damaging to the game as you shrugging away every issue people have with the game off like it's nothing. 1. When 2.0 launched, trades have become a lot more common for me. Anecdotal, sure, if it weren't for the fact that other people are having these issues as well. 2. The UI hasn't been in a good place since 2.0. A majority of the player base would agree with this sentiment. 3. Developers promised to relaunch old maps in 1-month intervals, which hasn't happened, leading to map fatigue, which is arguably one of the lesser problems, I admit. 4. General server stability has been whack lately, and I'll add to this point all the bugs that have been in the game for years now, or some that have been reintroduced. There's a lot more criticisms and drama that has happened thus far, and Crytek deserves most, if not all, the criticism it's getting. Even the Ghostface stuff was understandable. He doesn't belong in Hunt. It's funny, because when Post had his interview, YouTube comments were saying here comes the Reddit outrage, which just didn't happen. It did, but yeah. Seems like people don't mind collabs if they make sense. Post is an active Hunter player, so it would only be smart of Crytek to capitalize on that, and the interview made clear to the few outraged people that in the end he is one of us. The community loves Hunt and so do I, but the gunplay changes lately had me really scratching my head. Bullet drop, bullet pen changes, scarce ammo instead of removing them from weapons. I loved Hunt for what it was. The gunplay was perfect to me, so it didn't need these changes. Wall bangs are awesome and skillful, unless you're spraying chain pistols with FMJ. But hey, these changes don't address that. And some of the most hyped moments. Bullet drop, not needed, but it hindered me less than I thought it would. However, it does make situations a lot more confusing. Did my kill shot miss because of bullet drop, or due to server instability / lag or other? We'll never know because there's no way of finding that out. Just another added modifier. Holy fuck, that's a long comment. Okay, so, I suppose I'll start from the top. I'm not trying, I don't want to pin a comment or something because I'm not going to undermine the video. I really don't want people to think I'm ignoring all of their problems. The problem is I've read so many goddamn complaints and problems that it's getting to me. Like, it's pissing me off because I see the same thing over and over and over, but I'm never seeing solutions. I'm never seeing people actually, I can't say never, I'm not often seeing people offer resolutions or offering any positivity, what they did like. It's always just, the game is dead, game is dying, the end is nigh, blah, blah, blah. And that's the stuff I really hate. I feel like there's so much potential for the game, there's a lot of growth that's happening, and people just ignore this because they're so hyper-fixated on one particular issue that will be addressed. 2.0 trading has been a lot more common for you. I'm sorry, buddy. It's the same trading that I've experienced in the game for years. The trading has always been brutal. 2.0 has not made it any worse for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah.
Shout off in the comments if trading's been worse for you. I truly haven't had it worse. It's always been shit.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about trading a lot. I don't think it's gotten worse. I think it's about the same. It may be exasperated by other issues, like maybe it's more noticeable. I don't know. For me, it wasn't more noticeable. But again, it's like you said, anecdotal, sure. But then he goes on to say, if it weren't for the fact that other people are having these issues as well. I've seen people bitch about trading for years. It's not changed. People are like, I hate trading, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, trading can suck, but at least you got the kill. Honestly, you want to know when I thrive off of trading is when it's me and the other guy at the end, and nobody wins. I thrive off of spite in those situations because I'm like, ha, I denied you your fucking goal. Fuck you.
And in Hunt lore, a fucking a draw like that where everybody loses is probably better than most people get.
True. Very true. Very true. Now, and again, it's not I don't want to diminish how frustrating trading can be, because in a very high intensity game like Hunt, trading with somebody when you feel like you got cheated, and again, I say feel like because that's what it feels like, not because I'm saying that it's an imaginary feeling, but it does feel like you got cheated. I have felt like I've been cheated before. But again, I've also gotten used to the fact that trading is just the game. And 2.2, I believe they said, is when the trading window is going to be reduced significantly, I want to see how it feels then. I want to see how the other stuff in the update feels. Sure. So I would be interested to see like that positive energy going forward when we get the changes we want. And again, one of the reasons they upgraded to this engine is because they said that they can do a lot more with this engine. It's only been a few months. Let's see if we can get rid of some of that shit that's in the game that's been there for years. Give them the time. Give them. You've already invested 6 to 7 years. Might as well invest a little bit longer. I mean, but that's just my opinion on that. There are people that are like, you know what? Maybe I'm done with Hunt. Fair enough.
Oh, hey. Hazmat literally just uploaded a video response to my thing.
Sick.
I'll tell you what. I want to be able to watch it and digest it, so I'm not going to include it in this.
Yeah.
I want to be able, because I would hate to respond to this in live and say something I regret, so I want to be able to watch his video, absorb what he says, and then think about it for a little while. So we're not going to touch on that now, but that's cool to see that he put that out there.
Cool.
So,
all right.
UI hasn't been in a good place since 2.0. UI's gotten a lot better. I'm not even going to touch on that anymore. We've talked about the UI so much. Developers promised to relaunch old maps in 1-month intervals. Did they promise that?
They did. That is something I very much agree with.
Okay, I agree. If they did, I trust you.
Yeah,
I agree too. That sucks balls.
Because they were like, "Hey, we were going to do it every 30 days." Now they confirmed that Stillwater was coming back in 30 days, right? I don't know if they explicitly stated Lawson and DeSalle. However, it does feel bad.
Yeah,
that is something I agree with.
I agree with
and we talked about it earlier. Map fatigue is a thing, and again, it's arguably is a lesser problem, but it is still a problem nonetheless. I feel like if we did have all of the maps back, some of that stuff would be alleviated. Maybe not all, but some of it would be.
Yep. Dude, Crytek could even just make like a community post saying, hey, sorry, these are taking a lot longer than we expected. We're really trying to make them as good as we can for you guys before launching them. And I'd be happy with that.
I would be too.
But they just don't say anything sometimes, and that's the unfortunate Crytek way of developing Hunt.
Yeah. And that's part of it, unfortunately. I am right there with you. Like I had said earlier in the video, I am not big on only playing the two extremes. I want Lawson back, and honestly, I would love DeSalle to come back before the end of the year, but it seems like that is unlikely at this point. I am remanaging expectations. I still have a criticism towards it because, again, there should have been more communication, and I hope that there is even further communication about this. Because I would love to play DeSalle again as well. And then after that, I would love for the level designers, if they don't have anything else on their plate that they need to fix, I would love for them to start working on the next map. 100%. Whatever that may be. Whatever it is from like 2 years from now or however long it's going to be. I would love to see them get to go back to that.
Well, I guess there isn't a whole lot to touch on in the rest of the comment because it's stuff we've already talked about, but I will talk about bullet drop quick. I really haven't noticed bullet drop 90% of the time. The gunplay still feels fucking great for me. Some people saying bullet drop is ruining the game. Where? Fucking where?
The one thing I will agree is that wall bangs do feel bad now. Like I do
agree. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with, and I'm 100% like that sucks. I think they should have left that in the game as it is, because I feel like after a while, like if it's not broke, don't fix it. People do like it. Tweak it if you have to. Maybe it was a tweak that happened because they wanted FMJ to feel more viable, maybe. But I'm already on the opposite end of the train with custom ammo. I liked it when it first came out. I'm kind of wishing it never came to the game now. Like, it was only in like weird situations, because also the scarce ammo, I do see a lot of people not liking the scarce ammo. I think I'm kind of in the middle. There are some guns that just need to not have it. I like the idea of it rotating out, because that seems to be what they want to do. They want to rotate out weapons and stuff. And I do just want them to kind of just take it off of some weapons. It does not need to be on the Centennial. It does not need to be on the Dolch. It doesn't need to be on the fucking officer. Like, it just does not. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. But also, just to give a little bit of preface, I think most custom ammo is a crutch or a band-aid in some situations, because people were talking about how the Centennial feels bad because it's 124 instead of 125. And then you add the custom ammo onto it, right? And then all of a sudden it's 125. Just give us the fucking damage at that point. Like, that's a silly reason to add custom ammo for a Band-Aid on something that you literally could knock a point up. And it fixes the issue with the gun. But again, that's just me. That's my opinion on that particular matter. I don't think multi-shot weapons outside of the drilling should have bleed. Maybe the shotguns, because honestly, they're not as oppressive. But again, that's also me at the end of the day.
So, that's a whole fucking disgusting amount of comments responded to. What the fuck else do we want to talk about quick? Oh, right. Okay, so yeah, so it turns out that thing, that silhouette we saw, is a bear.
Right. Yeah,
it's a bear.
You know, and it was funny because I thought we were getting two, and I remember talking with somebody, and I didn't see the because it flashes like really quick.
Yep.
Yep.
The boss's name is Urza Mortis.
Yep, and I am interested in it, and they did say that it is not a boss. They did confirm that.
Good. So it's a special mob, a special AI. Something.
Yeah, something like that. And the thing is that I'm okay with that because some people aren't. They're like, but we want bosses though. And I was like, again, we have not had a new AI since 1.0. We have had variations. There's a difference.
And a couple new bosses.
Yeah.
Well, several new bosses, 4 of them.
But again, my whole thing is we have not had a new AI mob, brand new from the ground up. So I am more excited for this than a new boss. Yeah. We have 6 bosses in the game currently.
Imagine running into a random fucking disgusting monstrosity bear creature in the middle of the wilds here and going...
A double bear.
Bro, it'd be scary as fuck, dude. In the middle of the woods. And then it should just start sprinting at you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it'd be wild.
It's bad.
Yeah.
You will.
I would love a new special mob. It'd be sick as fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% here for that. Like, something kind of more on a meathead level, because I don't know if there's really any cannon fodder stuff that I would like to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I am intrigued to see how it works and what we're doing with it. So, ultimately, I think I can sum it up in a video in my way, and then obviously you'll probably sum it up in your way. I understand that people are frustrated with the game. Some of us are like, okay, I'll speak for me because I'm not going to speak for anybody else because we're getting into weird territory. I'm tired of seeing the negativity because the negativity has been there since day one, and again, I've seen Hunt has been dying since 2018, that kind of stuff. I did also notice that there are some streamers that I do follow are a little bit more critical of the game now. Yes, and they should be. But they do it more constructively than the average Reddit poster or average Steam forum poster. Like, I literally saw some people that were like, these devs are fucking stupid, that kind of shit. I get tired of seeing that type of negativity and that type of interaction. So I'm just not going to go there. There are more important things to me than a video game, even if it's one I love. I have left video games behind because they have not gone in a direction I've wanted. And they're still around today. Me leaving is not going to affect it. It's not like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to stop spending my money on this game and then it's going to die. No, bro. Again, my food for thought, I guess, is if you're going to do it, it's like, hey, this is frustrating. Hey, Crytek, do you guys know about this? Fucking, I saw Dennis because that one comment mentioned Psycho Ghost, who has been more critical about the game, and he has. I watch his stuff. He has been more critical. But Dennis, lead designer of Hunt Showdown, was in his stream and said Psycho Ghost had an issue and was like, hey, you see this? This is bad. This is not good. And Dennis was like, okay, cool. We're aware of it. We have been trying to fix it. And I was like, damn, okay. So they are probably more aware of the issues than even the community is. The thing is, at the end of the day, I'll kind of go back to it again because everyone loves bringing up the fact that, it's just out to make money. It's out to do this. It's out to do that. Yes, the point of the game is to make them money. And it is a product. And they have to support that product. It can't always be the best support. But if you need to take a break from the game you love, I mean, people do it with relationships. but in all seriousness, like if the game is frustrating you that much, take a break, take a step back. Because honestly, my frustration is that I've played it too much, and nobody else wants to play anything else. Not calling you out, Horse. Like you.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, but like, I have friends who like we've recently been playing other games just to kind of give us a breath of fresh air. Again, even Dead by Daylight and all of that game shit. This is where it is. And again, at the end of the day, this is our opinion, or I should say, this is my opinion. And we don't have to agree. We could just agree that we all want to see Hunt flourish and continue on. I know the goal is to have it 10 years and longer, and it seems like they are on track for that. I think personally, the Post Malone stuff is going to skyrocket it, like you said. Maybe not to an extreme amount, but it's going to push it back up.
Oh, I think it'll fucking go up.
Yeah, I think it'll do some interesting numbers for the game. But people complain about the Ghostface skin, me included. Let me go look at this. 91% positive. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very positive. And again, if you don't like the Ghostface skin, me included, you don't have to interact with it. Shoot him in the face.
Don't buy it. Kill the ghost faces.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't buy it. Kill the ghost faces.
Take the lose, bro. It's so easy to see him.
But yeah, at the end of the day, just take a break, take a step back. It's a game. It's not that serious.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Like, yes, we want to spend a lot of time playing these games. We want this game to succeed. But again, at the end of the day, we all gotta take care of ourselves. Got to do what we can, and that's all we could do. So, and that's all I'll say because I could fucking ramble on for hours. So.
Well, everybody, this was supposed to be a mini episode. We've hit an hour and 35. At least we saved you 25 minutes on the usual between the Hunt episode time.
Hey, man, sometimes you just gotta talk about shit.
I know. Check out the YouTube members and our patrons here up on the screen. Love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting a small creator. If you've ever wanted to support a small creator, consider supporting me for literally $1. I'll love you forever. Especially because my newest video, which is my most popular ever, I got immediately demonetized, which is fucking sick. I feel like a real YouTuber now. So that's pretty cool. But thanks everybody for watching. Deadman, where can people find you?
Right now, mainly in the Discord. Mainly in the Discord.
Join the Discord. Do it. We got 30 more people today. It's a blast.
Yeah, and Deadman's Howl on some of the older lore. Like we said, Hazmat has, I think he covered more and did it very well. Like I said, I did watch that stuff and it was pretty cool. So
yep, I went ahead and posted his video response to my video on the Discord and on my YouTube community page. Go support him as well. Appreciate you, Hazmat, for coming out.
So, all right.
Have a good night, everybody. Stay blessed.